I announced that I was going to be a single mother about 9 months ago, actually. So here's an update on that. And warning, if you are not a fan of learning TMI about somebody's medical history, this is not the video for you. Having said that, I do hope that my story helps somebody. Okay, so to start, I have known that I want to be a mom for a very, very long time. I have also known that my body does not work the same as a lot of other people's for a very long time. I have been excited about adopting. And so in grad school, I actually started working for an adoption agency just so I could get an inside scoop. And it scared the heck out of me. Like, honestly, I saw so many nice families get scammed. Heartbreak after heartbreak for multiple reasons. Plus, a lot of agencies just don't like to work with single people, especially when there are so many more people who want to adopt than children that there are to adopt. So, about a year ago, I thought it would be the right decision, something called IUI, which a lot of people are familiar with IVF. IUI is its less invasive cousin. And so, about a year ago, I go to a fertility specialist. I told her I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, but I know there's more than that, but that's just what I've been diagnosed with. And she's like, no problem. Most of the people that we deal with have something like that. You'll be fine. She does an ultrasound on me. She goes, you have 20 eggs on each side. You're great. You're going to have a baby. The question is, how many babies are you going to have? And I was like so excited. So the first step is she puts me on these meds because she has to make the hormones get to working because my hormones and stuff don't work right? And I got so sick on this medication. Now, here's a stupid aside about me. I went to a biomedical science academy, and 16-year-old me learned about how they put side effects on medication. And the way that my 16-year-old brain understood it is that basically if there is a trial and 5 people in that trial get dry mouth, they're going to put dry mouth under the side effects, even though most people won't get it. So I ignore side effects. I don't want it being put in my head because then if I get dry mouth, I'm going to just attribute it to the medication, and it probably isn't even that. So I take these meds. And I get so sick. And my family's like, is that part of the side effects? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's just the side effects. I'll be fine. It's just the side effects. But it felt like I had a flu. But then it started to go away, right? But my body wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So they put me on another round of this stuff, which I later found out that they actually used to treat breast cancer. So these were like heavy duty meds. And that was just one of them. There were a few others. And so I didn't have the flu-like symptoms the next 2 rounds that I had to take these meds. But my hormones still weren't being produced right. And I was getting a lot more aches and pains. Another aside, I had Lyme disease as a kid. And it left me with arthritis and fibromyalgia. And so it's not unusual for me to get aches and pains. I'm almost always in pain, but it's not enough to really interfere in my life. I barely notice it anymore because I've had this since I was a kid. But my aches and pains started to get a little bit worse, but I didn't put anything together. Because sometimes they do get worse when it's rainy, and it was very rainy around the time that I was doing this. And so finally, they saw that my body was kind of producing the right stuff. They said, yeah, maybe this will work. Let's try it. But first, we're going to give you all these medications. They gave me a whole bunch of stuff. They were like, take all this at once, and then we're going to try the actual insemination. So I did all these meds, including like needles, which is horrifying. I actually couldn't do it. My saint of a father stuck me with needles. So we did that, and then they actually did the insemination. And not even 2 days later, I was so sick. I couldn't eat anything without vomiting. I had shortness of breath. I had no energy. I was super emotional. I'm never emotional. And so I was convinced that it worked. I was like, this is every symptom of a pregnancy. I am having a baby. Oh my gosh. And I was so excited. And this is important for people to know what can happen. I had to wait a full 2 weeks to take a pregnancy test. Do you have any idea how difficult that was? I actually cheated and took several before the date. When they kept showing not pregnant, I thought, oh, it's just not showing up yet because I have to wait 2 weeks. Nope. I actually took a blood test to confirm that I wasn't pregnant. I was just shocked. I said, I am so sick. And the doctor said, I'm really sorry, but that has nothing to do with any of this. And I said, well, maybe it's the meds. Maybe it's like a side effect or something. And he goes, no, flu-like symptoms really are not a side effect. You probably got COVID or a flu. So I took a COVID test. It was negative. However, I thought maybe it's just not showing up anymore because it's been so long. And then the flu-like symptoms started to go away. But I was still so sore. It was all concentrated in my neck and shoulders. But I was like, it'll just go away on its own. But the pain got worse and worse and worse. I saw the fertility doctor again. He basically said to me, like, we could try this a few more times, but you're opening Pandora's box. I don't know what's going to happen. He said your insurance will cover you like 2 to 3 more times before they consider you infertile. And I had actually planned on trying it again because I thought, what are the odds of me getting COVID or a flu or whatever I had again? But then the pain in my neck got too bad to ignore. I work a lot and I do Zooms. And every time I had to sit at my computer and like look, it would kill my neck. Like, I can't even explain to you how bad the pain was in my neck. Like, it was horrible. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go to a doctor for this neck issue, get that resolved, and then go back to the fertility stuff. Well, I go to the doctor, I get an MRI. That was a situation in and of itself. But basically, the MRI shows that I have a herniated disc. So I'm like, great, we have an answer. Let's just get this disc sorted out, and then I'll go back to the fertility stuff. So I go to physical therapy. And most of the stuff, like the exercises and stuff, do absolutely nothing. It did an ultrasound on my neck. That helped. Everything else, And then they doubled the price, like out of the blue. So I'm like, what kind of operation are they running here? I'm out of here. I went there for 3 months and just saw no improvement. So I go to this other physical therapy place, and they're fine. But again, no improvement. In fact, I was getting so much worse so fast, to the point that I couldn't do that. Like, I couldn't move my neck at all. I was just like that. I couldn't move my arms higher than like that high. So after about 2.5 months there, my physical therapist says to me, something isn't right. You should go back to your osteo. So I book an appointment for 3 days away. And during that time, I literally physically could not get out of bed. I couldn't lift my head. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do anything. And I started to get, you could still see them a little bit, but these disgusting things on my neck. And the weird thing was they would show up where the worst pain was. That's still a mystery. I don't know what that was. And then my neck started to get really big and bulgy, and it was like that. And I couldn't breathe right. My parents saw me, and they rushed me to urgent care. Long story short, because I'm running out of time here, it would appear that the meds that I was taking brought back some deep-seated Lyme disease that I had. And so the flu-like symptoms was the Lyme coming back, and the pain was, of course, the Lyme settling in. This isn't even the first or second time this has happened. I live in Jersey. We find ticks on us all the time. My dog, I've treated him for Lyme disease several times. But then I started reading about long-term Lyme disease, and even my osteo weighed in on it. And certain medications can bring back dormant diseases like Lyme, Epstein-Barr. How freaky is that? So here I was taking all these fertility meds, and they were basically killing me. And so now I took what I was supposed to kill the Lyme disease, and I'm like 90% better. I literally just came back from yoga. I feel good, but I am so done with this fertility stuff. But I am not done with this child stuff. Petrified as I am of getting my heart broken during the adoption process, I've always known in my heart that that's what's right in my case, in my family. So I'm going all in pursuing adoption. When I was doing the fertility stuff, I was still like half in adoption. I was still talking to agencies while I was doing that. But now I know the path. I'm so excited. But yeah, if you just started like some new meds and you've been feeling really achy or even flu-like symptoms, check that it didn't awaken some dormant disease in your body. It sounds so dumb, but I swear I just went through it and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Stay tuned for the next announcement.